AI ready, you have to be focused on two things. One is granularity and the other one is metadata. Since AI has come into picture, we have now two audiences. One is like human user and other is the AI.
What challenges arise when content is optimized only for human readers?
The first thing as a technical writer that we have ever learned is understand who your users are.
What does token-oriented content in simple terms means?
It's more like, do this, then there is a note, the reason, and then what are the tools used in doing the steps. So it's broken into like 2 to 3 steps. So that is how AI would properly understand. Technical writers are becoming the source of truth these days for what information we put in, what information really goes inside the AI. So we are now becoming the architect of the architects rather than just be writers in our role.
Welcome to the Knowledge Base Ninjas podcast, where Gauri Ramkumar of Document 360 finds the best SaaS self-service knowledge bases in the world and then interviews their creators. Let's get started with today's episode.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Knowledge Base Ninjas podcast. Our guest today is Sakshi Shah, technical writer at Tesla. Hi, Sakshi. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for asking, Gauri. And this is a very good opportunity. So yeah, so I'm excited to be here.
And fantastic. So I think you've got like 6+ years of experience in this space, but I'm just going to rewind a little bit in the past and ask you, how did you get into this amazing opportunities and who was your motivator or what motivated you to choose this career path?
Okay, so yeah, that's a very good question. So my journey of coming into technical writing has been a little, up and down. It's not a very conventional way of how I got into technical writing. So this journey started almost 6.5, 7 years back. So I had just graduated from my MBA school and I got my first job into training and development. And there I was writing training manuals and training content for them. So that is when I realized I really like writing content that helps people in easy to understand manner, or it teaches them something. So I did some research and I came across this field of technical writing, and I did a course in technical writing. And ever since that, I've been working as a technical writer. And then in my next company, it was back in India itself, I was unexpectedly thrown into user testing.
Right.
And when I was doing user testing, I realized when I saw the users and fail or succeed, I really understood the importance of having a good documentation, like how it is going to help them or
Mm-hmm.
how a bad documentation impacts the users and so on. And that is when I again decided to do a master's degree. So I came across this field of human computer interactions, that is HCI. That is when I came to the US. I studied human computer interaction here in California itself. And there I took a lot of research courses, and I also I studied human-centered design.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to use that knowledge in writing good documentation and how I can make my content more user-centric. So, this is how I came into technical writing, and I've been a technical writer since then.
Wow, that's great. So you experienced what users could be benefiting from a good documentation, and that's what motivated you to choose this career.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Okay. Now I'm going to start straight with this question. Like, how has the role of documentation changed over the period of the last 7 years since you started this journey with the rise of AI, of course, and chatbots, and now you see a lot of search assisted assistants, right? So, how's the journey shift witnessed from your side?
Okay. So traditionally, when we started writing, it was only for human users. We used to write with the perspective of, okay, this is a human and they are having a manual in their hand. So
Mm-hmm.
how will they use our manuals, or how it is going to benefit them? But over the period of time, since AI has come into picture, we have now two audiences. One is like human user, and other is the AI, AI system or AI chatbot, you can say.
Yeah.
So when you write for the AI chatbot, things change. AI does not
Right.
understand the content exactly the way a human user does. Sometimes, when we are writing for humans, we assume things that the human might know or our users know. But for AI, the AI is not as great as reading in between lines. It is not even as efficient in understanding a large piece of information, huge, big paragraphs, or if we are using three different names for the same tooltip or something. So we have to be more, more specific when you're writing for AI. So that
Mm-hmm.
is so when you're writing for AI, you have to chunk the data into smaller portions
Got it.
and be
Mm-hmm.
more specific, more clear, so that the AI doesn't hallucinate or it doesn't skip a particular step. So that is how I can say the role has changed. If I'm
Got it.
making sense over here. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. So the main point here is break it down into simple context so that AI can easily interpret what you're intending to say. Yeah. Now, what challenges arise when content is optimized only for human readers? So we spoke a lot about how do we make the content more acceptable for AI, but then how do you optimize it for human readers?
Okay, so how do we okay, so when you are saying how do we optimize for human readers, you mean to say how do we make the content more efficient for human readers,
Correct.
right?
There could be a lot of challenges that could come, right? So, or put it the other way around, as you said, yeah. How do you make it easier for human readers?
Okay, so there is not one best method that you can always use to make the content easier for human users. But over the years, we've seen like it's mainly understanding your users and what they exactly need from the documentation that you're providing. So the first thing as a technical writer that we have ever learned is understand who your users are.
Mm-hmm.
Are they basic users, novice users, intermediate users, or experienced users? Once you get an understanding of your users, and then when you collect all the information, you have to you have to start arranging it in bits and pieces in easy to understand manner. And when you are doing that, based on your user, you have to gauge a sense of how you can write it for them, like how implicit you can make your content. For example, if the user is completely novice, you'll have to explain, you have to give more definitions of a particular tool or of a software. Maybe you'll have to add a more glossary, more index maybe, or add more FAQs. You have to like have more specific FAQs, versus if somebody is already a developer of that tool and product, you need not add a definition of everything when you start, because they already have worked on that tool and they know what they exactly are expecting. So it has to be more of how are you exactly using this product, or what is the, or if this is a code base, sorry, not code base, if this is a code, a sample, maybe adding annotations or tooltips to it, or or something like that. That
Mm-hmm.
is how you gauge an understanding of your users, and you make content simpler, easier, and more usable for them.
Right, right. So you spoke a bit about how we can make the content more AI ready while focusing on the humans as well. But are there any core elements of truly AI ready documentation?
Yeah, so I would say if you want to make your content more AI ready, you have to be focused on two things. One is granularity and the other one is metadata. So, AI ready documents are always chunkable. They are
Mm.
in like smaller sections, smaller bits and pieces. So instead of writing like one giant wall of text, or like in the form of storytelling, you have to chunk it into smaller datas or smaller sections, like FAQs, a single troubleshooting tip, or one specific AI definition, and so on. Because when we use clear labels or metadata, as we see, the machine knows exactly what it is looking at.
Okay.
So, if I have to give an example, it's more like imagine having a pile of clothes and versus imagine having a pile of clothes and you properly, clearly label them. So it's
Mhm.
always easier to understand a clearly labeled pile of clothes versus like a messy pile of clothes. So that is how you chunk data into having proper labels and making it into granular level is how it will be helpful.
Understand, understand. Now, this is something I've not come across a lot, but hopefully you can help me. What does
Okay.
token-oriented content in simple terms means?
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good question actually. So it's a pretty new thing that it's called tools. It stands for token oriented object notation,
Right.
and it's nothing but cutting the noise so that the AI can focus on signal or substance of the data. So basically what happens is AI reads text in small chunks, okay, which is called tokens. And traditional documents are often packed with larger text or storytelling, repetition, a lot of formatting, tables, and so on and so on. And that
Mm-hmm.
is that really helps a human maybe, but that is not the best for the machine because it becomes harder for the machine to read and interpret. So what tool is, it's a way of structuring content. It's almost like like an ultra clean list of tables that strips out all the unnecessary fluff and makes the roles and relationship explicit. So by giving the machine a format, it can parse without guesswork. So we
Okay.
help AI retrieve the right information, respond more accurately, and use fewer tokens in the process is basically what the role of token here is. Like, you can think of it as like a recipe. A human only documentation is a long blog post, about a grandma's kitchen or something. But a toon style is like a list of ingredients and numbered steps. So
Mm-hmm.
the AI really doesn't need a lot of storytelling. It just needs steps to cook the meal. So yeah. Or if I have to give you another example, it's more like, do this, then there is a note, the reason, and then what are the tools used in doing the steps. So it's like it's broken into like 2 to 3 steps. So that is how AI would properly understand the things, and it would use less tokens.
Nice, nice. I like the way you come up with examples which are very, very simple to interpret. So that's really good. Yeah. So let's move on to the rapid fire round now. What any valuable resources in particularly in terms of documentation you can point us to?
Oh, yes. So actually, there are 2, 3 resources I would really like to highlight. So there is one book called as Docs for Developers.
Mm-hmm.
It's for practical software documentation guidance. It's a really nice book, and I recently read it, so I thought it's pretty helpful. Then one thing I would always tell people that read the Microsoft Writing Style Guide or the Microsoft
Mm-hmm.
Style of Manual. And the last resource I would genuinely say is the Docs for Writing community.
Okay.
Or Write the Docs community. Yeah,
Yeah.
Write the Docs. Pretty helpful. They have a Slack channel too, so you can meet fellow technical writers there. And yeah.
Nice. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for the three resources. And one word that comes to your mind when you hear documentation.
Okay, one word that comes is okay. You can say foundation, because that's like the source of truth not only for humans but for AI systems also. So the AI system also cannot really work without having a proper foundation to it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Foundation. Great. A piece of advice you would give to your 20-year-old self?
Oh yeah, I would say treat curiosity as a career skill. So when I say that, I mean always be curious, keep learning, keep exploring new resources, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there, or don't be afraid to publish your work out there. As new writers, you're sometimes scared to even write or even put yourself out there. And so don't do that, put yourself out there. You might get a few comments. Take those comments and then work on it. But yes, so
Okay. Don't leave your curiosity.
Never leave your curiosity. Yes.
Great. Now, Sakshi, that was brilliant talking to you for the last few minutes. But is there anything else you would like to share with our audiences today?
Oh, yes. So, yeah, one thing I'd genuinely like to say is even though in the role of AI, technical writing is not dead, it's actually becoming more and more prominent because technical writers are becoming the source of truth these days for what information we put in, what information really goes inside the AI. So we are now becoming the architect of the architects rather than just be writers, and our role is evolving with the change of AI, but it will never go away. So this is one thing I'd like to say out there.
Thank you. That's really, really helpful, and I think it's needed in this hour, I guess. So once again, all the best wishes for all the projects you plan
Thank
for the
you.
upcoming year, and it was great talking to you once again.
Well, thank you. Yes, Gauri.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Knowledge Base Ninjas podcast. Please head to iTunes, rate, and provide honest feedback on the podcast. See you next week.